Hello, y'all. I am back again for another video. And good morning to everyone, if it's morning where you're at. And so, actually, let me say good rising. Okay, I think good rising is probably more of a better term. One of my relatives told me this that good morning basically can mean happy death day because they took the mourning for the sad meaning and just re worded it and spelled it different. That's what I was told. So because it is a mourning, like your mourning or grieving word, I don't like this. So I think good rising is better. So this video is going to be about a standard that I have, right? And especially in today's age, and it's been going on for many years. I mean, adult children name calling and abusing parents, it's not a new thing. It's just something that's been covered up. It's been covered up for many years. It's been going on. Adult children, teenage children abusing their parents is not new, but this is one of the things that I do. Okay, and I'm very strict with this, and it's a policy that I have. I call I don't pay people for it. So anyone that's made a decision, I give people chances. Believe me, I'm more likely to give my children chances more than anyone in the world. But one of the things that I am strict on, because there's certain aspects of the Bible that I do truly believe because I've seen it. A disobedient child does not live all his days. And I'll begin with my grandmother, right? My grandmother used to pay all of my mom's bills. When my mom was taking care of myself, my sister, and my brother. Hello to whomever just came in the live. Thank you so much for tuning in. And this video is about a standard and my morals, y'all. And just kind of giving you an idea of a way to live in an area that I'm strict in. And just explaining how it's done. So I'm going to start with telling how my grandmother handled it. When my grandmother, she used to pay for this house for my mother. And my grandmother would pay all of my mother's bills. But when my mother stopped taking care of her kids and started running off and leaving me and my sister and my brother in the house, once my sister and I were moved out of there and at my grandmother stopped paying my mother's bills. Okay. Now, here and there, my grandmother used to, give my mom a little bit of money if she was struggling. But why would you pay all of your daughter's bills and she is not keeping her freaking kids? My mom actually had a problem with it. She told me many years later, my mom was like, your grandmother was mean to me. And I'm like, mean how? She said, because she remembered when she abruptly stopped paying her bills. And I told my mother, I said, well, to be honest with you, it makes sense because you're not taking care of your children anymore. So I guess in that way, or in a sense, I would have my grandmother's philosophy on that, right? Why would you pay your daughter's bills and she not taking care of her kids? And so that's how my grandmother dealt with that situation. And I have a similar philosophy. So what I do is first of all, I don't have the money to pay for all my children's bills, okay? And pay my own. So I'm not financially that rich. My grandmother was more wealthier and she had the money to do that because my grandmother was a business owner. So with that being said, one of the things I'm strict on, right, is with relatives, just especially children, one of my rules is if a child of yours is an adult and they no longer live in your home. If you have a child, this is a standard that I have. If I had a child that no longer lived in my home, and this child is no longer in the home and they are 20 years old and over, okay, 30 years old and over, however old they are. One of my philosophies and principles and morals is I no longer give them money if they are an abuser. Okay. So if I had a child that was 20, 30 years old or over, and they repeatedly was calling me out my name, and I could not do nothing to stop it, they just won't stop it. You know, a lot of people will have psychopathic children. The child just will not stop it. You ask them to stop it. Normally in these type of situations, the parent may even start calling names back. Because when the parent does that, if you got a adult child that's repeatedly calling you names, and they'll go in spirals. It's like it's going in like a intervals. You know, this January, they calling you some names in January, then they take a break. Now they back in April doing it again. Then they didn't gave you a summer break. Now they coming back in September, October. It's like a cycle of abuse. So, and this child is not living in your home. They may be your biological child. And they 20, 30 years old. And over some years, they've done this name calling. One of my principles and morals is beliefs that I will act on is I will not give them a dime. I will not give them any money. They can't get any money, and I mean a dime. So I've done these videos where I've talked about my middle son that I dealt with these issues, and there's been a slight improvement. But this is the thing, you know, once they move out, and some of these kids are getting more and more disrespectful, right? So um I'm not the type of parent, like I'm not one of those parents or relatives where don't involve me with your crime. If you're going to rob a bank, kill somebody, don't even tell me if you're getting ready to sell your food stamps. That is a criminal act. I don't want to know if you're getting ready to sell your food stamps. If you one of my children, don't tell me about no shit like that. So with abusers, no matter who they are, I don't care who they are, my child, my relative, no matter who the abuser is, if they have consistently called me names, insulted me, and continued verbal abuse upon me, I don't give them nothing. I don't give them a dime. But what I will do is donate some money to the funeral home or the morgue or mortuary, whatever I need to do. I don't care if I donated $20. That's what I will do, because a disobedient child will not live all their days. I don't give abusers no money. I give you so many chances. And if you wanted my children, I'll give you a chance. But the thing is with abusers, they have to stop and continue their abusive activity. Point blank. And I mean stop it completely. Because see, I'm going to notice a pattern. So if I didn't ask you to stop, you cussed me out in January. Now you're taking a break. I got a respite period. Now you cussing me out in April. You take a summer and spring break on me. Now you cussing me out in October. I don't deal with these situations and I don't give them any money. I know people that will. Some fathers and mothers will continue. See, because this is the thing. When relatives like this, whether they be sons, daughters, nieces, grandkids to you, it's somebody that they not cussing out. And that person will keep paying their pockets. I don't give them a dime. I don't give them a dime. I just had my relative try to sell me some food stamps. The thing is, I'm actually a role model to a child, right? And no matter how grown you are, don't ask me to buy no food stamps from you. See, I don't train my kids and teach them how to commit crimes. I guess in some way, you know what it is? And I've been called this word a couple of times. I'm kind of like a square, but I don't really consider myself a square. I consider myself actually a role model, because what a child or relative is not going to do is blame me when they fucking ass grow up and be robbing banks. See, that shit not gonna be my fault because you ain't bought no motherfucking, I ain't buying no food stamps from you and doing all that weird ass stuff. And so thank you so much for the like. Let me check the comments here. And I'm sorry to be doing all this cussing. Hello, Candy Miniature Channel 9240. I love that YouTube name. That's so pretty. Candies. Oh, it's Candies. Okay, let me pronounce it again. Candies with an S, y'all. Miniature Channel 9240. Hello and welcome. Please like, share, and subscribe. So that's the thing. So that's a criteria that I live by, and I will do it with anybody. They my child, niece, nephew, cousins. I don't care who they are. If someone is consistently cussing me out and I don't do that, oh, well, it's my fault. It's something I'm doing. I don't do that bullcrap. And so I had a situation Saturday with Elijah's abusive behind, and doing this all in front of his girlfriend while I was on the phone. Asking me if I want to purchase some food stamps. And then when I said no, he continued to walk through his apartment and sold the food stamps right when I'm on the phone. So disrespectful, right? And that's another thing. Relatives like that, I don't support them. I contributed about $400 to Elijah and his girlfriend. He don't even know if the children are his, technically. And they never gave me a dime back. I do not invest in these kind of people. I don't care what stories they tell me. I don't care if they tell me they got roaches in their house. You should. You taking furniture that's used from what you claim are witches that's in the voodoo. You should have roaches and all kind of stuff in your house. And it's a potentially, maybe the roaches didn't come from the lady that does witchcraft furniture, because they seem to be pretty clean people, to be honest. I've seen photos and stuff of their house, and they seem pretty clean. So the roaches can come from a lot of places. They go back and forth to this shelter getting groceries and things if they're not checking the bags, and stuff like that. It's a lot of different ways you could get roaches. Your next door, the apartment next door could have them. I don't know. But I don't pay people to abuse me. You cussing me out, calling me all kind of names. I don't pay people to do it. And I'm also finding, and I don't know what's wrong with women and what's going through their head. Elijah's girlfriend says to me, "You ain't came to see him." I sure haven't. After she put her fist in my side last September, I did a live about this. I never went back over to those people's place. Once you get physical with me and you keep running your mouth, I don't return. I don't care who you are. And this is why in the United States we got so many murders, because people don't obey rules and boundaries, and they have no standard. In the United States, this is one of the easiest places to get killed, seriously injured, or harmed. And people still walk into these situations. So another thing, this video is going to cover some of my basic morals and standards. So another one of my morals and standards is I don't wake up and make phone calls and advise people of who they need to see and contact. And this is why I don't do that. I assume that as an adult, you know what your priorities are. See, this is the thing. Elijah and his girlfriend that he's currently with, one of the things they wanted was me to come over there and see those children. And he don't even know fully if those kids are his. There's no DNA to prove that these kids is his. And both children, she was messing with other men when she got pregnant with both of these little babies she got. So this is what she said to me. So ever since last September, when the police told me, stay out of there, I never went back because that police had a bad feeling, and I felt it too. I never went back in those people's apartment. I don't care if it's a relative or not. I'm not going back in no hellhole. I found out through that visit when myself and my youngest son went over there to call the police to help out. That was the day I found out as well that the girlfriend that Elijah has doesn't believe in the Lord. Okay. Elijah told me, and she was sitting right there. She don't believe in the Lord because she's mad that the Lord took her mother. But those type of people, they know how to run off their blessings. She was calling me mom and everything. But see, she knew I wasn't going to be a good source of supply for her. So she told me, you're not my mom. I said, no problem. I sure ain't your mama. I'm not your mom, man. See, I don't need no extra kids. I just really don't. So the thing is, Elijah triangulates her with me. So whenever I'm talking to him on the phone, this girl is talking mad mess in the background. She don't like what I'm saying. All I'm saying is true stuff. And one of my beliefs as well is if I didn't restrain my child's father from him, and there's no court order keeping the child away from the man, and he knows where this child lives most of his life and doesn't come back and see the child, it's not my fault that child's father chooses to be a deadbeat father. I don't take responsibility for another man's parenting. I only take responsibility for myself. Many, many years ago, a therapist stopped me from doing that. Stop taking accountability for what another adult is doing. And I thank the Lord that therapist taught me that, because I used to take a lot of responsibility for stuff that had nothing to do with me. It's like somebody driving the vehicle. So they commit conspiracy to murder. They drive somebody to commit a crime. And then that person they drove there gets out and rob the store and shoot the cashier. The person that drove the car, that's all they did was drive the car. They did not put the bullet in that cashier. But see, I used to be the type of person, I would have felt like all of that was my fault. And a therapist stopped me from doing that. And I thank the Lord that she did. So there's all this triangulation. So Elijah's girlfriend says this to me because Elijah was calling Kimberly, which would be his little sister's mom, his half sister. I'll say half sister on this video to represent they don't have the same mom. Okay. So He was calling Kimberly bitches. Now, Elijah's father done already stabbed. And my younger two have the same father. Elijah's father, but in this instance, I'm talking about Elijah. Elijah's father done stabbed Kimberly some years ago in her stomach twice. So she's already went through enough torture. He's never even had a conversation with Kimberly and just called this woman a bitch for no reason. And I said, don't call her a bitch. You know, you got the two little babies right at your house. You know, your babies don't need to hear that. Those babies, whether they biologically Elijah's or not, he's raising the babies. Definitely the wrong way. Bringing drugs and alcohol, they smoking weed in front of these children, keeping the house nasty, all kind of stuff going on in front of these little babies. So one of the things Elijah's girlfriend wanted was for me to come around her kids because they want me babysitting and around these kids. And I'm not dealing with abusers. That's one thing with abusers. Another standard of mine is I don't watch their kids. If you an abuser, I ain't babysitting your freaking kids. And this is why I'm supposed to be in no contact. If kids are under an abuser and I don't have custody of those kids, I'm not fucking around with no abusers. See, people that don't have standards, that's why they unalive so much. I actually have a standard. So this is what, when I was telling, I said, Kaylin, I said, don't let Elijah call people bitches and call women bitches all in front of your little boys, because your little boy's gonna be doing that. This is what Kaylin said. She said, I'm not listening to you because of how your boys turned out. I said, hold on, sister. Hold on 1 second. I said, as of right now, I'm not having no problem with my sons. I said, you got to remember, ma'am, that the man you with, I have 2 other sons that I do not have problems with at this time. I'm not having problems with my son. They the most loving and kind people to me. Now, did I have any problems with them? Yes. She said, because of how my sons turned out. My oldest son worked for a major corporation and has been employed there for several years. Never went to jail, never joined a gang. It ain't one person I could meet that tell me they don't love Isaiah. Isaiah don't have enemies. And this is real talk. Like, I ain't trying to brag, but my firstborn son, he ain't got no enemies. Nobody's ever threatened to kill him, take his life, or none of that. If I walk into Isaiah's job, it ain't nobody there that don't care about him. Isaiah's very kind-hearted. And I'm not just saying that because he's my son. But I had to tell Kaylin, I said, look, then she brings up, she said, Daniel's a felon. I said, hold up. He's not no felon. And I'm going to tell you why. Yeah, Daniel went through his little situation. I did lives on that. I said, but he's not no felon, and this is why. Instead of me coming over there to keep your kids, I'm taking care of my baby. Because Daniel's my baby boy. So that's why he ain't got no felony, and he's not no felon. Daniel saved and baptized and gave his life to the Lord. So when I went through the situation with the teenage stuff with Daniel, he was able to improve himself because he has a conscience. Because he's serving somebody much higher. So while I'm on this phone call with Kaylin and Elijah, Elijah sends me a text eventually and tells me he's God. Okay, brother, you claim you God, but don't get offended when people say that, because there's YouTubers that teach this concept, and they teach it in witchcraft as well, that you are really your own God. Now, I don't believe that I'm a God, but I do believe that the Lord gives us more power than we use. And one of the things that the Lord gives us power over is our choices. And I believe that you can have many death dates, but you're only going to have one death date, the final one. So I believe that if I'm messing around going over to a relative that's an abuser's house, I believe that if I got myself killed, God didn't do that, I did. See, I don't believe that I'm a God, but I don't blame all my problems on God. When I make a choice to put myself in danger, half of the stuff that I went through ain't got nothing to do with God. Because God didn't do it to me, I did. But Elijah believes he is God. But okay, he gonna find out he not God. That's what he gonna find out, because God is not human. God does not have flesh. The Lord in heaven ain't got no flesh. So that's the bottom line behind that. But Caitlin says, well, you haven't come to see your son. I don't mess with them kind of guys. I'm not going to deal with an abuser. So then she's saying, well, Daniel's a felon. No, he's not a felon. Because see, I'm watching who I'm supposed to watch. So the moral of the story is this. There's been a pattern over the past several weeks, and I dealt with it with another sister, and I don't know why women think they have the right to call another woman and tell them who they need to be going to see when they know that it's an abuser involved. So it's showing me that something is wrong in the head with women. Or these women want me to have an early death date. I got one live where Elijah's on the live saying he gonna put a death curse on me. All kind of stuff. Because he's affiliated with some people that's in the voodoo. Just saying all kind of crazy stuff. I'm not dead. The curse won't work. He can put whatever kind of curse he want on me. It's not gonna work. Because I serve the Lord. And I'm not affiliated with this stuff. So it's just unbelievable, you know, what people do when they tell you to do something. And Kaylin may think she wants me to see Elijah, but what she wants is for me to be watching her kids. See, I'm not going to have nothing to do this. So this is my standard and my morals, and I hope you develop some similar morals. When there's abusers involved, I have nothing to do with the kids they bringing up. Because for one, they're not my kids. And in a custody battle situation, if you lose custody, you might want to back off from that situation. Giving up your life for the wrong kids and some kids that's connected, or children that's connected to a pathological abuser, that's emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and could be physically very dangerous. So these are my standards. The kids that Elijah is choosing to raise or living under an abuser. See, everything I won't allow Elijah to do in my house, he's able to do it over at his residence with Kaylin and those two little boys. So I've asked him time and time again to stop contacting Daniel, my teenage son that still lives at home. He continues to contact Daniel no matter what I ask, because all he want to do is destroy Daniel's life. It's just horrible. See, people like this, let me tell you something about these kind of people. These kind of people are perfect candidates to be murder victims. Because see, somebody gonna ask Elijah to stop something one day, and he's not gonna do it. And he's gonna end up at a morgue. It can actually happen that way. Because see, the rest of the world is not going to tolerate that. The universe will not tolerate it. The universe is very karmic and it's not going to tolerate that type of stuff. And the reason it won't tolerate it is because he's not a God. God is a spirit, no flesh. Flesh is not needed in heaven. It's not. It's really not. So, and I get the result I want. I don't like abusers. And I don't buy nothing from them. I don't give them no money. And I do not visit them. Once somebody consistently shows me that they are not going to respect my wishes, they have shown me and told me that they're going to talk to me however way they want to because they want to obey their demon in so many words, because you got to be borderline possessed to keep doing it. I don't have no money for them. I'm not buying no food stamps from them. I'm not donating. I'm not paying to get no ride over there. I'm not slipping no money in on no buses to get there as well. I'm just not going to do it. And over the past 4 weeks, I've had 2 women, and one of them got good sense. Now, Kaylin, Elijah's girlfriend, that girl is wicked and she ain't got no morals and don't believe in no Lord. That's a wicked girl. She ain't got good sense. She's young too. But she's telling me to go see Elijah. No, not doing it. For one, that ain't what the police officer said, dude. The police said, stay out of there, and pointed to the door. Stay out of there. So if I go over there and I'm in that hellhole with all them roaches and witches' couches and all this demonic ass bullshit, if I go over there and I'm in that situation and something happened to me, was that God that killed me or did I kill myself? See, I don't believe I'm a God, but I believe that I can do things to get my own ass taken up out of here. I truly believe that. And so I don't deal with abusers. That's my morals. The man that raised me, James, he wasn't abusing me, cussing me out, calling me all kind of freaking names. I wasn't raised by that type of man. So I know it's not normal. I never woke up and James called me a bunch of bitches. That's the type of man I was raised by. Okay, so that's my father. Okay, so I know that it's not normal. I wasn't conditioned that that's how I should be treated. And so that's why I don't accept it from no man or girl. I do not. So I'm going to give you a list of my morals and things that I stand by. I do not give money. When I see that somebody is going to continue to name call and be abusive and ornery and triangulate me and have sick other people on me to abuse me, I don't give them any money. I ain't buying no food stamps from nobody because that is a crime. People going to federal prison now. I don't need to buy food stamps from nobody. Period. I can survive without food stamps. I don't need to buy them. I don't need to be having food stamps, especially buying them. I will go get my own food stamps. If I needed food stamps, I can go get my own food stamps. That's the way I would do it. If I need food stamps, I could go apply for them. Not go buy them from anybody. I'm not committing a federal or state crime over no food stamps. I'm not going to buy anything from an abuser, especially no food stamps. That's illegal. If I'm going to purchase something from an abuser, it got to be real valuable. Something really, really valuable. But paying their pockets, no. So the thing is, so I'm going to say this with the Kaylin situation with Elijah. When she talked about my son, she said she's not going to listen to me. All I'm telling the girl is that don't let him cuss and do all that around them little babies. This is how I raised my boys. I didn't have no man around my boys calling women the bitch word. I didn't raise my boys like this. And this is why my oldest son works for a major corporation, never been to jail, never been arrested, never had the police called on him for abusing anybody. Isaiah is not an abuser. Daniel, he went through his trial and tribulation. He's not a felon. Because, see, when he went through his stuff, instead of over there babysitting Kaylin's babies, I'm watching my own baby. Because this is my baby. Daniel's my baby, the youngest child of this family. All of them my babies, but I'm only responsible as far as like a teenager for Daniel and Isaiah, because that's who live in the home. And so these women, it amazes me that women like Kaylin telling me I'm supposed to go see Elijah, acting like I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And like I told her, Daniel's not a felon because I'm watching my own baby instead of yours. And that's the thing. When you get in your life and you got peace in your life, these demons gonna have people calling you from everywhere. All over from the South here, they gonna be calling you, telling you you're supposed to contact these abusers. I just had a call within the past few weeks from another sister from the South asking me if I contacted some kids that's with an abuser, texting me, have I called these kids? Hell no, I ain't called them, because I'm not getting cussed out when I call this freaking abuser's house that's in the South. These people are out their freaking mind. And this is the thing. I'm going to give y'all some advice. Don't you do this stuff to people. If some come in your spirit to ask somebody if they've contacted some kids and you know those kids live with an abuser, you wrong for that, because you're not showing no empathy for that adult that you telling to contact these kids that live with an abuser, especially after you know an abuser has already threatened somebody. See, I'm too busy to do stuff like that. These women act like I don't know what my priorities are. As a Scorpio lady, I know what my priorities are. And my priorities is what's in this house. I have a set of priorities, and it's never contacting an abuser. See, you can't bait me in with an abuser because they keeping some kids. I'm not dealing with it because I'm not an abuse victim. That's not the life I live. So these are my morals and my standards. And what I would like to do ultimately is give the advice for you and me to not be texting and telling people who they need to visit. Because it's a sense of entitlement to think you had a right to do that. You way in the South, calling somebody way out of town. Have you called the kids? No. And why would you be expecting me to? Same way with Elijah and these kids. If you don't develop this standard, you are going to live the rest of your life in abuse to the day you die. That's the way the devil pulls you back into abuse. It's through kids. Oh, I want to be a grandmother. I want to be a grandfather. I want to be an auntie or uncle. I want to be a big cousin. I want to be a good friend. It's just like I talked about this before. The grandmother that ended up killed, and the granddaughter and daughter barbecued her on the grill, cooked her up like she was a piece of barbecue ribs, cooking this lady on the barbecue grill. All because she want to be involved with some kids. And this is what they grew up and did to her. You got to see the red flags of this when they're young. These are my morals. So the set of morals, in summary, is this. I don't give them money. Okay? These are my standards for an abuser. I have no money for you. And I'm talking about a repeat offender. This is an abuser that won't stop. They stop for a short while, but they keep it going. I also don't want to abuse anybody. So if I find that I'm name calling and getting out of pocket after you done cussed at me, I'm going to go no contact with you. I'm not going to be interacting with you. I don't want to be your abuser as well. But the money is off limits. And I just think it's very inappropriate for people to be calling me from different places, from the South, from up here, trying to tell me who I need to be calling because it's kids there. And they are well aware that these kids live under an abuser. It is so inappropriate to call somebody that's got complete peace in their life. What matters is how my life is right now. It's abuse-free. What about the people that already live here? When people are telling me to contact other abusers because they got the kids staying with them that are not my children, let's add that. These are not my children, okay? People giving me advice to contact these people. Where's the empathy for the people that live here? There's a family that lives right in this house. And it don't matter how old or young they are. They have a right to peace. They literally have a right to peace. What about my emotional state? These are my boundaries. And I want y'all, don't make this same mistake. Don't you call nobody if you know that there's an abuser over some kids and there's already been threats made. Don't you call nobody and ask that adult, why aren't they contacting those kids? Because it's not right to do that. It's also not your place to do it. I don't call any adults and ask them why they not seeing anybody. It's not my concern. I'm not superior and I'm not entitled to talk to people like that. If I notice that you're not contacting somebody, now I may relay a message, and say, well, such and such, they say they would like to talk to you. But I'm not superior and I'm not entitled. I don't have a sense of entitlement to tell people who they should be contacting, especially when I'm suggesting that they contact abusers. What kind of people do that? And this is where it goes wrong, where there's no empathy for adults. That's why I don't like dealing with people that only have empathy for kids. If they the type of person, they only have empathy for children and they have no empathy for an adult, because you need to have empathy for adults too. And this is why. That adult was once a child. You're always a child. You just grew up and got older and bigger. That's the bottom line. And it's highly narcissistic when you know that this adult that's over these children is being abusive to this person to suggest and tell them and try to make them feel bad because they're not contacting the person. And each situation, I rejected it. When the sister called me from the South, I said, no, I'm not contacting those children. The man that's already has custody of those children has already threatened me, and so is this woman. I'm not contacting those children, absolutely not. When you're interacting with abusers, you have to, if you want to have contact with the children, you got to do it through mediators and the courts. And I'm not filing no court order to win no custody or visits with no abusers, family members. I'm just not. Because sometimes those children grow up to be abusive too. I'm very curious. I wish it was a way that I could find out the background of the black lady that got barbecued on the grill by her daughter and granddaughter. I really wish it was a way that I could find out who the daughter and granddaughter parents were. Like, where does this gene come from? What happened? What was the red flags that could have came in play to be some kind of warning? There's always red and black flags in those kind of cases. That mom, that grandmother, she was a grandmother and mother. So her daughter and granddaughter murdered her. Really, the daughter. The daughter did the murder for real. The granddaughter just helped take care of the body and barbecue her and stuff. But they're still both playing a part. But I think who actually completely killed the grandmother was her own daughter. The granddaughter just did what the mom told her to do. So I'm curious to know, and I wish I could know more about that case and what went on when they was little. How did she end up being so involved and so responsible for her granddaughter and daughter in the first place? Was there any father involved? Were their fathers predators or pedophiles or prior murderers? I just would like to know, even thieves. Were they bank robbers? Like, I would like to know more about that background of that family. And maybe there will be videos that will come out later, but I just really would like to know how it was when they was kids. And I would like to know so I can tell more about the story so that maybe we can learn more of the red flags. Because red flags were there. It just doesn't come up in one day. You don't just suddenly have your daughter and granddaughter kill you and then they end up barbecuing you on the grill and there was not red flags. And unfortunately, the grandmother and mother, her daughter and granddaughter killed her, so she's not here to tell the red flags. So I just wonder what those red flags were. And some people don't understand abuse. They don't see it coming. So one of the ways, in summary, one of the ways that I am creating as much peace as I can, because my family members that are here deserve peace. And this is my focus. Like Elijah girlfriend Caitlin said, Daniel's a felon. No, he's not. See, if you focus on the legal matters, and you meet with your children attorneys and you find out what really happened, your children will not be felons. If you don't want your teenagers to be felons and your adult children to be felons, you have to be focused on your children instead of somebody else's kids. I don't know if Elijah's girlfriend kids are blood related to me. And really, it actually is irrelevant if they're blood related to me. It is. Because their father is an abuser. Some people you can't save. I'm going to play this video for you to prove it. A brother did a video. And see, we're trained to think we're supposed to save people, right? But this brother is going to explain it in a very short video. How it's not your position to save people. Hold on, let me find it. It's not too far in here. I already played one video, I think, of his where he talked about Thanksgiving. I sure did. I played one video where he had a really good video on Thanksgiving. I just passed by one of Marilyn Monroe videos. Marilyn Monroe, somebody needs to take legal action. They got the man that's buried on top of Marilyn Monroe. I'll go through that at another date. I'll make that a separate video. I don't want to get too much off subject. So this gentleman is going, and I'll put this video in the description box. And this is gonna, he's gonna explain better my point that it's not your position to save everybody. You're not gonna be able to save everybody. So let me play this for you. Fair use, y'all.
Listen, the one thing you learn on the hero's journey, the real spiritual path, is this. You're not here to save or enlighten anybody. That's one of the final chains of colonized religion that you break. That savior mentality, that let me wake everybody up programming, that belief that your awakening is supposed to be a group project. Nah, that's hive mind consciousness. That's the work of the identity that they conditioned you into. Because once you step out of the hive, you realize something powerful. Your calling was never a conference call. Spirit contacted you directly. Nobody else was on that line. You chose to answer the call. You're the one who picked up the books. You're the one who listened to the lectures. You're the one who went to the classes. You're the one who did the shadow work, faced your demons, and rebuilt your life from the inside out. That wasn't group homework. That was a soul contract. See, on this path, you will attract fellow seekers, tribe, and soul family. That's natural, but that's not the mission. The mission is self-empowerment, self-mastery, and self-sovereignty. See, the scripture said, seek ye first the kingdom, and all other things will be added. Not converts, not followers. Seek alignment with the universe. See, most people aren't training for ascension. They're training for comfort, for survival, for food, for sex, and for materialism. That's their curriculum. Let them live and learn it. You're here to see the code of the matrix. You're here to understand the architecture of the universe so you can manifest with precision and clarity. See, a true awakened mind doesn't preach, it embodies. It doesn't convert, it becomes. It doesn't chase approval, it creates reality. So if you ever feel alone on your journey, remember you're not supposed to lead the masses. You're supposed to transcend them. And once you ascend, those who are meant to rise with you will feel the vibration and they'll follow the signal along with you. So remember, you're not here to save the world. You're here to master yourself and reorder the world around you. My name is Rob Blackstorm. Peace, power, and prosperity to you. One love, y'all. Follow me for more wisdom and insight.
And I agree with everything he just said. You know, you're not necessarily here to save the world. So the belief that you're here to save the world and even save all the kids can get you unalived and hurt and just have you living the rest of your life in an abuse and trauma mode, and you don't have to deal with it. But I just don't live like that. I'm not concerned about other people's affairs, right? So if I know you're not contacting somebody, I already know why. See, I'm filled with knowledge and understanding. I actually respect you, right? So if I know you're not contacting an abuser, I already understand why. I already know you working in your best interest. I just don't do that. I don't question people about who they've called. It's not my concern. It's really not. I'm not entitled and I'm not in control of anybody else's life. Both of these people, Elijah's girlfriend that's saying I should come see Elijah, I'm not concerned about how she think I should run my life because look how she running hers. And another thing, you don't want to be around people that's constantly assassinating your character. All my boys is messed up. Now, she's talking about Elijah on the slide too, but guess what? As messed up as she may think he He's willing to take on 2 babies that he don't even fully know is his. He picked her up from a homeless shelter, brought her in his apartment. Elijah's not living in her apartment. She's living in his. And picked this woman up from a shelter and helping her with some babies that's probably not his. She won't prove that they his because she probably know they not his. Both babies, she was having affairs with other people for both of these children. It's really sad. And he's willing to do it because he's abusing himself. That's what abusers do, abuse themselves. Take on a bunch of stuff they don't need to be responsible for. She enables him to be an abuser. She's assisting him with it. Was buying him alcohol while he's underage. She don't wish well for Elijah. And he don't wish well for her. Cussing, the way they act in front of those babies is horrible. I can't take those babies on. Those babies have to go get adopted out or go to foster care. I'm not raising anybody else's children. Not those children anyway. I'm not raising no abuser's children when they're not my children. I'm not doing that. I'm an aware empath. I'm not a fool no more. I no longer feel the need to waste the rest of my life on these abusers' children. I don't care where they at. I don't care if they live in the South and they got some kids over there. No matter if the children are related to me or not, I'm not doing it. Because those children are pawns. When the children live with an abuser, that's just the way that the abuser keeps it going. And that's the way they can continue to hurt you through the children. It's very expensive as well. Most kids grow up and will not pay it forward and help their parents and people that have helped them. They just literally don't do it. They just don't do it for real. And so, I was discussing it with the family and, people notice the type of things I say. And I told Daniel, I said, my baby boy, I told him, I said, it's the truth. You're not a felon because I wasn't over here babysitting her kids. And she's mad about that.
She's mad about it.
Ain't that right?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, mad about that. Hold on one second.
YouTube, I need to go to school, so okay.
Yeah, what you say now?
I said, hold on, YouTube, I need to go to school.
Okay, so in the meantime, what I'm gonna do is keep playing this video for you to hear.
The one thing you learn on
so keep listening to this while I come right back, y'all.
You're not here to save or enlighten anybody. That's one of the
Daniel said thank you. What you say?
Thank you.
Thank you. Daniel said thank you. He was on here yesterday doing that exit, the like, share, and subscribe. I loved it. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, this man ain't no felon because this is what I focus on. I focus on this baby boy here.
Well, I gotta go.
If you want your children not to be felons, you got to be focused on your children, not somebody else's. Hold on. Listen to this video, y'all.
Savior mentality. That let me wake everybody up programming. That belief that your awakening is supposed to be a group project. Nah, that's hive mind consciousness. That's the work of the identity that they conditioned you into. Because once you step out of the hive, you realize something powerful. Your calling was never a conference call. Spirit contacted you directly. Nobody else was on that line. You chose to answer the call. You're the one who picked up the books. You're the one who listened to the lectures. You're the one who went to the classes. You're the one who did the shadow work, faced your demons, and rebuilt your life from the inside out. That wasn't group homework. That was a soul contract. See, on this path, you will attract fellow seekers, tribe, and soul family. That's natural, but that's not the mission. The mission is self-empowerment, self-mastery, and self-sovereignty. See, the scripture said, seek ye first the kingdom and all other things will be added. Not converts, not followers. Seek alignment with the universe. See, most people aren't training for ascension. They're training for comfort, for survival, for food, for sex, and for materialism. That's their curriculum. Let them live and learn it. You're here to see the code of the matrix. You're here to understand the architecture of the universe so you can manifest with precision and clarity. See, a true awakened mind doesn't preach, it embodies. It doesn't convert, it becomes. It doesn't chase approval, it creates reality. So if you ever feel alone on your journey, remember you're not supposed to lead the masses. You're supposed to transcend them. And once you ascend, those who are meant to rise with you will feel the vibration and they'll follow the signal along with you. So remember, you're not here to save the world. You're here to master yourself and reorder the world around you. My name is Rob Blackstorm. Peace, power, and prosperity to you. One love, y'all. Follow me for more wisdom and insight. Listen, the one thing you learn on the hero's journey, the real spiritual path, is this. You're not here to save or enlighten anybody. That's one of the final chains of colonized religion that you break. That savior mentality, that let me wake everybody up programming, that belief that your awakening is supposed to be a group project. Nah, that's hive mind consciousness. That's the worker bee identity that they conditioned you into. Because once you step out of the hive, you realize something powerful. Your calling was never a conference call. Spirit contacted you directly. Nobody else was on that line. You chose to answer the call. You're the one who picked up the books. You're the one who listened to the lectures. You're the one who went to the classes. You're the one who did the shadow work, faced your demons, and rebuilt your life from the inside out. That wasn't group homework. That was a soul contract. See, on this path, you will attract fellow seekers, tribe, and soul family. That's natural, but that's not the mission. The mission is self-empowerment, self-mastery, and self-sovereignty. See, the scripture said, seek ye first the kingdom, and all other things will be added. Not converts, not followers. Seek alignment with the universe. See, most people aren't training for ascension. They're training for comfort, for survival, for food, for sex, and for materialism. That's their curriculum. Let them live and learn it. You're here to see the code of the matrix. You're here to understand the architecture of the universe so you can manifest with precision and clarity. See, a true awakened mind doesn't preach, it embodies. It doesn't convert, it becomes. It doesn't chase approval, it creates reality. So if you ever feel alone on your journey, remember you're not supposed to lead the masses. You're supposed to transcend them. And once you ascend, those who are meant to rise with you will feel the vibration and they'll follow the signal along with you. So remember, you're not here to save the world. You're here to master yourself and reorder the world around you. My name is Rob Blackstorm. Peace, power, and prosperity to you. One love, y'all. Follow me for more wisdom and insight.
Yeah, so the thing is, one of the things that a lot of people will not do is they don't look at the benefits of not interacting with people's children. Okay, so because it's not your children. I mean, in some cases, you got to cut contact even with your own kids, like custody battles, stuff like that. Sometimes it's just too difficult of a situation, and it's just too much. It's not worth it, right? So situations like with estranged children, when they've had an abuser as their leader and they come back into your life, you gotta limit some of that stuff. And in those cases, it's totally breaking your privacy, right? So estranged children, children that have chose to have no contact with their parents for a very, very long time, they have a sense of entitlement, and they think that that parent has to take them back. And Stoic lessons teach you that you don't. I discovered this after going through this type of situation, and I was like, oh, in Stoic lessons, it even gives the parent an option. Anybody that's left out of your life for a very long time, you're not obligated to take them back, even if they're your own daughter or son. We put too much on daughters and sons. We act like they're our Lord or something, and it's not true. It's just somebody you gave birth to. That's it. That you raised and took care of because you tried to do the right thing. But you got to be very careful with worshiping these people. That's where you get into the wrong side of the road with this. And the spiritual realm is just going to be on a bad track. So, and people do this even before they have kids. They don't do this. A lot of times people don't look at the benefit of not having kids as well. I'm one of those people. Before I had kids, I always knew the Lord was going to give me at least 6 kids or more. This is something that the Lord told me when I was a child. Okay. But at the same time, did I think about a life without kids? Did I put much thought into that? No, I did not. I did not put much thought into it. And I don't regret having my children. Okay. I don't regret having my children. However, I should have put more thought into it, but it is what it is. I'm glad to have a family, but this is the thing. Okay. So I mentioned the money thing. Okay. The money thing, and 2 women, one from the South and Elijah's girlfriend, Kaylin, telling me who I should go see. No, I'm not going to see somebody that has no respect for me. Listen, I'm getting ready to tell you something. Don't visit people when they riling somebody else up on you. See, what Elijah does with that girlfriend, that's like him sicking a dog on me. I'm not going to have any more conversations with Elijah with that girl around, because she's talking mad shit in the background. He's asked me stuff like, do I want to fight her? Who wants to go around sickos like this? Your own relative asking you if you want to fight her. I don't want to be around savages like that. See, these people act like savages, and it's not my kind of people. I get away from those kind of people. So this is the thing. Like I said, I don't give them my money. Okay. Let the abusers provide for those children. When abusers have children, whether they in the South or up here, Elijah's an abuser, so he should take care of those children, not me. That should be morals and principles and standards as well. So I'm going to write this down: morals, standards, and principles. So give these children to the abuser so they can take care of them. Because a lot of times, if you don't give the child to the abuser, they don't take care of the child. Okay. So, and I don't want the children abused. That's not what I'm saying. A lot of times, these children are with these abusers, and I didn't give these children away. Okay. So these particular abusers, Elijah and the one in the South with the other relatives, I didn't give these children to them. In Elijah's case, Kaylin is allowing Elijah to keep these children. And in the case in the South, the state gave the children to the abuser. So I want to clarify that. I would rather not give a child to an abuser but a lot of times that's just who they're going to end up with, because the abuser may be in a better financial situation. But what I do is I don't take responsibility and accountability physically or financially. So what happens in these type of situations when you're dealing with people, kids, especially very, very young kids, these children that Elijah has are not even 2 years old yet. So what happens in these cases, the abuser, not the abuser, the empathic person, which would be me and you, we don't consider what are the benefits of not being around these kids. And these are some of the benefits. So as far as Elijah and Kaylin, the benefits is I'm not involved in their CPS cases. So I am protecting my record. They've already got CPS cases going, other people calling on them and stuff. I don't call CPS on anybody, but I can't be in their cases and be blamed for anything. If CPS called me, I could say I never met those children. So the way to be in this position is don't go around these children. I just let you hear the video that you're not here to save everybody. The Bible even says, don't give your pearls to the swine. You know, Elijah called God the N-word. He called God a nigger, y'all. See, these type of people, believe it or not, I do believe in someone being spiritually low class. When you call God the N-word, you are spiritually low class. And I don't need to be anywhere around anybody that's calling God the N-word. Elijah texts me and say he God. And that type of stuff, I don't get personal with that, because if you look at videos online, I've studied enough, and they teach you that in witchcraft. A lot of these people that are becoming witches and stuff, that's what they believe. They say that they are God. And that's really not what it is. None of us are gods. But the Lord gives you power. He gives you more power than you think you have. Okay, but people don't utilize power. You don't need to become a witch to have power. You actually have more power when you believe in the Lord, because a lot of people have horrific bad luck when they harm people that love the Lord. So the universe takes care of it all. Okay, so the benefits of not interacting and babysitting and keeping people kids is you're not in their CPS cases, because they will be getting CPS cases. It's so easy to get them now anyway. Number two, it's financially beneficial to you. You're not wasting your money. Retirement and investing in a low payoff activity. Okay. Investing with abusers' kids is a low payoff activity. 3, you won't be assaulted. Okay, physically assaulted. And also, it's better for the kids because you won't be assaulted in front of them. Number 4, you won't have to whoop nobody's ass in front of these kids. Because sometimes you're not assaulted, you defend yourself, and you end up whooping somebody's ass in front of these kids. Number 5, nobody gets killed or put down. What you don't want to do is have to kill a motherfucker in front of these kids. And you also don't want to be killed in front of the kids. That's number 6. You don't want to kill and you don't want to be killed. Number 7, you can stay zoned in on what your actual priorities are. Because when you are babysitting some children that are not yours, your children will be suffering. Like she said, Daniel's a felon. He's not a felon because I'm in his attorney's office, right? You're not gonna be no felon. You first of all, Daniel ain't killed nobody. He was not involved in being violent with anybody. And so you can be focused on what you need to be focused on. Number 8, less enemies in your life. If you are not running over, keeping people kids, less enemies in your life. Number 9, you won't be used because they're just using you. That's all. They want you to babysit so they can run out to the club and be doing stuff they shouldn't be doing. You won't be a supply source to anyone. So they won't be using you. Number 10, you won't be a supply source. Number 11, why not to be watching people and their kids? You're going to avoid more narcissists and psychopaths. Number 12, you won't get ensnared. Like H.D. Tudor would say, you won't get ensnared in these people's web. Okay, so you won't be caught up and ensnared. 13, you won't be victimized by the abuser. Number 14, another benefit is if you don't get to know the kids, you're not overly attached. You know, a lot of times you don't want to think about this. What if the child grows up and dies or gets killed? Now you overly attached and you spend the rest of your life grieving over somebody else's children that you didn't have to be involved with. A lot of people don't think about this, but that can happen. Number 14 is that. So number 15 is this is a very important one. Having to involve yourself in a form of poverty that you didn't create. Okay, so for example, Elijah over there with all them little brown friends, his roaches, right? I ain't got no roaches over here. Okay, so I'm involving myself in a horrible level of poverty that I did not create. Elijah and that girl created that. Elijah created that. He went and picked up a chick from a shelter. I didn't go get no guy from no shelter. So I don't need to have roach friends at my crib because he went and picked up a broad from a shelter and that's the situation they in. So I'm avoiding more poverty. I'm poor enough, y'all. So number 16 is I don't have to watch the abuse of the kids because I already know I'm not taking custody of the kids. I'm not going to be taking on these kids. I just can't do it. Health-wise, it's not a good idea for me. So number 16 is I'm not subjected, even though I'm not a direct abuse victim, I don't have to watch the children be abused because that's what I will be watching at some point. And also number 17, I won't stay upset because of what I saw. You know, just like over the phone and dealing with it over the phone, I just asked, I said, I told Kaylin, I said, don't let them call Kimberly bitches all in front of the children. Don't do your boys like that. Then she talked about, well, my boys are all bad, but they're not. And I didn't raise them like that. They're very active in their colleges and schools and work. I told the lady, I said, you around Elijah. He rebelled. He's not following upbringing. He's in rebellion. So, what was it? That was number 17. $16 or $17. Okay, I'll just add on a bonus one. But I'll say number 18 is you're not becoming somebody's maid, right? Like finding yourself cleaning somebody else's house. Number 19, Any roaches or whatever don't come back home with you. Bed bugs too, y'all. Oh my goodness. Bed bugs are bad too. Those are very easy to pick up from somebody's house that's not clean enough. So roaches and bed bugs, you're not bringing those to your residence. 20, pure peace. 21 for me would be being active on my YouTube channel. I've been active on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel and helping people on YouTube and helping my viewers and subscribers, it's actually much more fulfilling than going to watch some babies. I don't watch babies. Okay. So I'm in the other part of my life. I want to do things that fulfill Irene, right? And so doing things that's actually more fulfilling that make you feel good about yourself. And I was on a live the other day and a young man came on here and he has a narcissistic mom. He was laced with fentanyl, just horrible stuff. I actually felt like I helped him more than I could help Elijah and Kaylin. Because see, number 22, you're avoiding hard-headed motherfuckers. Okay? Hard-headed motherfuckers are the worst people to help. People that have a perspective, like when I told Kaylin, stop letting him call women the B word in front of those babies. Your babies, don't let them do that. If she think my situation bad, wait till she see how they grow up. Because see, they gonna get tired of that shit with Elijah. Some kids grow up and totally rebel and will unalive that parent. Okay? And so number 22, you avoiding hard-headed motherfuckers that ain't listening. Number 23, not getting involved in those situations. There's not a constant character assassination. Like I told Kaylin, Daniel ain't never disrespected you. Me and Daniel are not over there calling anyone bitches or the B word around her children. Elijah's doing that. Okay, so you're just staying out that total situation. Okay, and you're avoiding that character assassination. Imagine, because abusers, they don't say good things about you. I don't know what picture that Elijah has painted to her, but she said all my children are bad. Nobody's perfect. But I literally am not having any problems with Daniel and Isaiah. They're being great sons. I hope Elijah gets the help he needs as well, because he's still a son of mine. But I can't have him here with the disrespect. So number 24, the reason to consider not keeping these kids or being involved with people's kids is so you're not influenced to have the abuser back in your home. Okay. And you can stay strong on that. I don't allow abusers back in the house. I make a decision. I see they pattern over a period of time. And it's that final day that they can't be at my crib no more or come to my residence. So you're not influenced or, easily lured back into allowing an abuser back in your home that you freed yourself from. So that would be number 24. Number 25, another reason not to be keeping other people's kids and stuff like that. And I'm talking about even when they blood related to you, y'all. You're not hurt and harmed when they grow up and treat you like crap. You get yourself hurt and harmed when they grow up and treat you like crap, because in your mind, when you helping other people with their kids, you kind of making it seem like they your kids, like you living in a fantasy. That's going to be number 26. You're avoiding fantasy world. You're staying in reality. 27. It's too much to do outside of keeping other people kids. Starting a business, getting a YouTube channel, going to your doctor's appointments, having your surgeries done, whether major or minor, praying, going to religious activities, taking care of the people in your household. Number 28, you can stay more positive. So staying positive and with a good attitude, and you'll be in a better mood. Okay. So number 29, I'll make that number 29. Not being involved, taking care of other people's kids, and getting involved in that mess, you'll be in a better mood. 30. This is a unique one. You'll be able to rest. You can rest and take your naps. Skincare, number 31. Take care of your skin. Ain't nobody's badass baby scratching y'all up and shit. You know, like some of these kids are just horrible, okay? So taking care of your skin, and I'm just kind of joking, y'all. But it's something to think about. You know, some people are bit by kids. I know a sister that had I won't say what it is, but she got a injury from keeping one of her grandkids. It was a long time ago, but she got a severe injury where it led to like a surgery, y'all. So like when kids headbutt you and stuff, you know, some people actually can get their nose broke, their teeth knocked out. It's many different things that could happen. You can fracture a jaw if a kid headbutts you hard enough. It's just all kind of stuff. So yeah, 32 would be injuries from kids. Okay. Number 33. Number 33 is a hard one. Being strong enough to do what you actually want to do. This is the truth of the matter. I just was dealing with this with the aware narcissist over the weekend. I talked about this, him going to one of his, the minors in his family events. He didn't want to be there. Number 33 is you actually get to live a life that you want to live. You want to live it. You're not doing it just for kids. See, some people, they help kids and they want to do it, but the danger of number 33 is you really don't want to do it, but you do not have the courage to do what you want to do. So number 33 is you do what you want to do. I'm learning more and more to do what I want to do. And I'm finding my results are pretty decent. I do not want to take care of Elijah and Kaylin babies, whether they're his, whether the kids belong to him or not. I suspect the kids are not biologically his. I really do. I would say the oldest one, 50-50, and the baby, 60-40. I don't know. It would need to be proven, but it really don't matter. I don't want to watch those babies. I don't want to be involved. I don't want to be heavily involved with the parents. I don't need her to be my daughter-in-law. I don't want the situation. So number 33, that's a heavy one because people don't want to really not do what they don't want to do. That's the hard part. You know, it's like you don't really want to get married. And I experienced this, y'all. When I got married, I wanted to cancel the day before. I didn't want to do it. But I cried my way all the way down that aisle. I didn't want to be married. I'm not no punk like that no more. Now I say, no, I ain't going, dog. Now when some tell me I don't want to do it, I don't do it. Because I've seen the result of what happens when you do it. So that's number 33. Number 34, you avoid people's demons. Whatever they demons are, like they saying, calling God a nigga and all of that insane crap and bullshit. They demons not on you. They demons stay over there. You avoid people's demons. You don't need their demons. It's not spiritually healthy for you. Number 35 is you won't be so fatigued and tired. You know, when you take on people's babies and children, you tiring yourself out. These not your kids. 36. I kind of mentioned this before, but you can really zone in on your priorities. There's chores that I do every day that do not get missed. Putting my dishes in the dishwasher, gathering my garbage, checking to see where my family at. These things every day. I don't skip a day. And the best way to have a real routine and chores and be able to kind of keep up on your own chores is not to be taking care of other people's babies. That's 36. Number 37, you could keep your home cleaner. You don't have people damaging your home. 38, when you're not watching people's kids and taking on their responsibility, they won't be coming to your door for anything. You're not a supply source. You don't give money. You don't give your time. You're not babysitting. They're not coming to your door. 39, you allow the Lord to help them more. When you step out of this game and you don't take over this responsibility, their biggest help is with the Lord. And they may actually get someone that can help them in certain areas where you're actually not available. So, like, for example, a case manager went with Kaylin when she gave birth, okay, with this last baby. So allowing someone that gets paid to do this for a living and you step out of it. So that was good. A case manager went in there. Okay. 40, whether you believe it or not, if you don't help at all, over time, you'll be judged less. Because this is what happens. If you go help, they talk about you if they feel you messing it up. So it's better not to do the job than for somebody to say you're doing a bad job. You're not liable. So basically, number 40, you're removing your liability when you back out the situation. So those are the 40 reasons to consider not watching someone else's kids, even if they're blood related or not blood related. These are 40 reasons I just gave you. Oh, I'll add 41 just in case there wasn't, if that one 17, 18 are skipped, I don't know. So I'll add an extra to make sure that there's actually 40. So I would say the next one is, it won't break your prayer routine. So if you've developed a prayer routine and a better relationship with the Lord, you'll be able to focus on that in your church and religious activities. You'll be able to focus on that because you're not babysitting people's kids. So I'll name one more. You're not going backwards in life. You've already raised your kids and you're helping the family you already got. So you're not going backwards. I'll say number 43, you won't have increased anxiety because you're not taking on more than you can handle. So you'll be more mentally healthy, not taking on somebody else's kids. Number 44, maybe they'll stop having them. See, if you over there picking up people kids and taking their kids on, and you start raising somebody kids, they'll keep having them and not raising them. So maybe the person will say, I need to stop having babies. I would say number 45. Let me think of number 45. There'll be less fury and narcissistic rage when you are not a long-term supply. So number 45 is if you don't start helping in the first place, they're not going to be so rageful and violent. All of my narcissists that got extremely violent with me, I was a long time supply. I've been married to him a long time. I've been his mom a long time, raised them since birth. No narcissistic rage when you end the situation, if you never started in the beginning. If I never start helping those boys that Elijah got, there's no rage that these boys, Elijah or Kaylin, is going to have against me because I back out at some point. Because these type of situations, you're going to have to end up going no contact because it's just going to be too abusive. So yeah, these are the 45 reasons of not to keep people's kids. And use these same reasons to make a decision to give someone up for adoption. These same reasons can be the very same reasons that you decide, I'm pregnant, I'm going to give this child up for adoption. But mainly this list applies to keeping other people's kids. And this applies if they're blood related or not blood related. I'll give one more reason. You're not subjected to constant abuse and ongoing abuse from the abusers that have custody of the children or child. So these are the reasons. Hopefully this helps. But this is some walks I'm going through in life, and these are some of my boundaries. As an aware empath, I'm here to teach you some boundaries and how you could avoid being in bullcrap. Okay? You can totally avoid being in bullcrap. And I've changed, y'all. The old me, I don't know what I would have did. But and another reason not to help people's kids that's not yours, whether they're blood related to you or not, is the parents are too disrespectful. They don't allow you to give healthy advice. I don't want to babysit anybody kids that I can't say, hey, young lady, don't let them be calling people the B word around the child or the children. I don't want to be a mother-in-law. I don't want to be involved with any savage like that. Those are savages. She told me outright, she said, I'm not listening to you, so I don't want to be involved with her children. See, when you keeping somebody kids and considering keeping somebody children and they saying they don't want to listen to you, don't have nothing to do with them. Let them keep their own kids. Don't be involved with them, even if they're your own grandchildren. I know a situation where I was involved with a business, right? And this is a business professional that I was dealing with. And she was telling me that her father will not grandparent any of his grandchildren. She hadn't had children yet, but he won't grandparent any of the children. And I think I got a playlist about what kind of grandfather is this. We've had some cases where grandfathers are murdering grandchildren. One grandfather killed his grandgirl. I think I started a playlist about that. It's in my playlist somewhere. I put it in there. And so, there's becoming an epidemic. More and more grandmothers and grandfathers and aunts and uncles, they're making decisions not to help other people's children. And it's not necessarily a bad decision. I told the lady she didn't like it. She was involved in a business that I was doing business with. And she told me about her father want grandparents. Also, he had put her out when she was like a teenager. And his wife was like in therapy or something. She was like a therapist. I mean, he had a wife that was involved in the field of therapy. And I don't know if the father or grandfather is a narcissist. I just know he made a decision. I suspect that he felt like his children were abusive, and he decided to dodge that abuse through not grandparenting. This was a man that did that. He's a white man too. A white man, sure did. And I told her, she tried to judge him. You know what she said? The young lady said, well, he's supposed to be grandparenting. I said, no, he's not. Not if he doesn't think he should be. I said, it is his right. It is his God-given right to make an adult decision to not grandparent. And I mentioned the grandpa, the Black grandfather that murdered his grandchildren. I said, what about this? What if he, instead of saying he doesn't want to be a grandfather, her white dad, I said, what about if he said he don't want to be a grandfather and he kept his grandkids and murdered them all or murdered some of them? Would you like that? I told the young lady, I said, when I saw the grandfather, and this was a Black grandfather, I didn't mention to her that he was Black. I said, when I saw this grandfather murder his little granddaughter right in front of the step grandmother, I said to myself, he should have just decided not to be a grandfather instead of doing his little granddaughter that way. Just totally tortured his granddaughter. It's in my playlist. I think I named it What Kind of Grandfather Is This or something. I'll try to find it and maybe put it in the description box below, but it's somewhere in my playlist. I have a bunch of playlists, over 100 playlists. Check them out. So yeah, it's just happening now. More and more people are deciding not to grandparent, be an aunt and uncle, cousins. There's less people adopting children. There's been many cases, I watched those cases too, where they adopted a child and it grew up and murdered them. Because see, you don't know what's in the genetics of somebody you adopted. Some of these kids that are being adopted come with a bad set of genetics, y'all. And when I saw those cases, I was watching a couple of those cases about a year and a half ago. And I was thinking to myself, dog, they just should have not adopted a child. Gosh, imagine adopting a child that's not even yours. I mean, going through a adoption agency, going through a professional adoption agency, adopting a child that grows up and murders you. And when I say grow up, some of them be teenagers and older. And they literally kill their adopted parents. They sure do. It's horrible. And it's just not healthy at all. So I hope some of these boundaries meant something. And as a reminder, people can abuse me and cuss me out, call me all kind of names, but I don't pay them for it. Because the way you're paying them for it is when you give them your money. That's what you're doing, y'all. When somebody has habitually abused you, and you give them money, loan them money, you paying them for it. You sure are. And don't believe they're going to pay you your money back. Elijah and Kaylin, they won't give me a dime of my money back. And it's fine. I mean, I shouldn't have gave it to them in the first place. I should, when that domestic violence situation happened and she jumped on him, I shouldn't have went over there. I should have just called the police and sent the police. I should not have went over there. I should not have taken Daniel with me to help. Daniel offered to come help. He was concerned. And that's one thing about him. Daniel's always concerned about somebody, even when they're not concerned about him. We ended up out there about 2 a.m, and the police protected us. Elijah couldn't even walk us outside. I ain't seen that man since. I don't go around savages. I don't care whose child they are. They done like gave their life over to the devil. You can't do nothing with these kind of people. Anybody that calls the Lord in heaven a nigger, I don't even feel right saying it. Please, Lord, forgive me. I'm not calling you a nigger. Elijah did. I can't, it don't even feel right saying it. Let me pray right now. Lord, please help us all. Lord, you're not no nigger to me. Please help us all. Thank you so much for sending your son, Jesus Christ, to help teach us a better way. Remember they said, what would Jesus do? Please, Lord, deliver us from all of this evil that's in this world. Lord, I love you so much, and you will never be the N-word to me. Never. Amen. But this is the type of rebellion that Elijah is in. And he has support. Kaylin supports him. She didn't have a problem with him calling the Lord the N-word. She don't have a problem, but he can do whatever he want to do over there with that woman. He got a perfect match, a woman that ain't got no principles and morals and standards. He asked me to buy some food stamps, and I said, see, I'm a good mother. I don't help any relatives or children of mine commit fraud. I sure did. So these are some of my standards. And guess what, y'all? I am not ensnared or enmeshed or involved in or engaged with abusers anymore. This is what you got to do if you want to be abuse-free. You always got to be keeping on track and making sure that you're creating a lifestyle that's abuse-free, because abusers will always show up. Abusive situations will appear in your life. It's no such thing as, they won't come back or won't any show up. You got to always be strategically keeping your life abuse-free. Your life within 12 hours from now can become an abusive lifestyle. Just by you meeting the wrong person at the coffee shop, that can happen. You bring in the wrong person in your home. You marrying the wrong person. Sometimes you won't even know when someone's like an undiagnosed psychopath. So as of now, following these rules. So number one, if there's children and there's an abuser that has custody of them, that has abused me, I'm talking about the adult, not the children, I stay away from the entire situation. Because the kids are just being used as pawns. That's it. And the benefit of doing it this way, the children are not witnessing you being abused. When the children are hearing the abuser abuse you, it's bad for the children. Wait for the children to grow up.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, you are? Okay, you said yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, I'm praying that you have the best day ever. Okay, Daniel? Okay, you want to say bye and like, share, and subscribe to YouTube? Hold on.
Share and subscribe.
Say that one more time, son.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I love you.
You too, sir.
Okay. Yeah, Daniel's funny. He calls me dad, sir, and one time he got pretty upset with me because oh God, Elijah's call. One time he got pretty upset with me that I said, I'm not your father now. Yes, you are my father. So he got over that. You know, it's tough for teenagers, but you know, he was going through a hard time. But I give leeway with kids, you know, I'm not overly strict or whatever. But let me see. I don't know how much y'all want to hear. Let me see. This is bad. Hold on, y'all. Let me figure this out.
Hello?
Hello, you called me, Elijah?
Yeah, I was saying, tell Daniel to stop stalking me and Kayla's pages.
He's not on your pages, Elijah.
Okay, I'm gonna screenshot it. I'm gonna screenshot it and send it to you right now. Because it shows you when somebody views your TikTok.
He can't view it if I blocked you.
And yeah, Daniel, why is Daniel's stuff on his on C? Man, you better get your boy. He's stalking me, bro.
He's not stalking you, and you better leave him alone, Elijah. Why is she talking to me again? We don't have nothing to do with you and Kaylin.
But exactly, it has nothing to do with Kaylin. So why?
We're not around you and Kaylin, so we're not stalking you.
At Kaylin's profile.
Huh?
Why is Daniel looking at?
He's not looking at Kaylin's profile.
We can send it to you right now.
I don't want to. What do you mean? What do you mean looking at somebody's profile?
If I viewed your profile on TikTok, it tells me. It will say this person. Like if Jonah tried to look at my TikTok, it would say Jonah just looked at your TikTok.
Okay, but we're not around you. I've checked your TikTok too. I checked your TikTok too.
Why are you stalking me?
We're not stalking you because we don't go around you.
You ain't stalking me. He is.
I checked your TikTok too. It's public information, Elijah. But we don't go around you. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
That's public too.
Right, but what are you gonna do because somebody checked your TikTok?
What I did was call his mother.
Okay, thank you for doing that. But
his mother is in denial. So
you're sending messages to Daniel through TikTok. I saw that.
Old messages. Let me look at the last time I sent this man a message on TikTok.
It was old.
Yeah, so I don't know what you're talking about. I got two babies over here. You're talking about.
Yeah, but the thing is to reduce conflict, Elijah. This is why I do things the way I do it, right? To reduce conflict. I checked your TikTok, and I didn't see any videos on that. That TikTok you sent me, or that
message request. See, I can't even text Daniel, so I don't even know why he's looking at my stuff. I'm not even following him, bro. I'm not even following him.
He shouldn't be able to look at you, right?
He can. I just clicked on his stuff. I just clicked on Daniel's TikTok. He just saw that. He just saw Elijah view his TikTok.
Okay.
I don't know why he's viewing TikToks that have nothing on them. So it kind of
I viewed it too, and I seen nothing on it. I viewed your TikTok too and seen nothing on it. But the thing is to reduce conflict. I know you and Kaylin got the babies and stuff, or her children. You're helping her with her children. But the thing is,
yeah, so I'm done. That's all I want to say to you. And don't threaten me again. And
I'm not threatening you. I didn't threaten you. There's no threat on here.
did, because the more you keep saying,
Where's the threat?
The longer we're going to go without talking. So I'm gonna talk to you in a
So
month. Okay?
what threat did I make? There's no threat.
You threatened a black man in America. When you tell a black man I'm going to call the cops, you just threatened his whole life.
I didn't threaten you. I didn't say I'm calling the cops right now.
You said.
Oh, you're talking about in the text message.
What I'm about to do. What month is it? December. I'm gonna talk to you next year. Okay.
Yeah, I did tell you I'm gonna get the cops involved because I'm trying
I'm
to.
gonna talk to you next year. So when you calm down and you don't feel like calling the cops anymore, maybe we can.
I'm not calling the cops at all. I'm asking you to leave Daniel alone, and then we leave y'all alone.
Nobody's telling you to threaten me over your son. Nobody's talking to your son.
I want you to stop messaging Daniel so he can move on with his life.
He needs to move on with the little girls. That's what he needs to move on. Then he'll be able to move on with his life. And he needs.
I'm not talking to Kaylin. I wish she would stay out this conversation. Cause stop sicking your dog on me. Stop sicking your pit bull on me.
So Daniel's looking at my.
I'm not arguing with that girl. Why does she keep getting in our conversation? Why don't you call me when she's not around? I did because I want Elijah to stop contacting my family, Kaylin.
Nobody is trying to contact Daniel.
Okay, and we're not contacting you. I'm just making sure we continue it that way.
I'm gonna leave a police report on this. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. You're not listening.
What?
I want to leave a police report on him because Caleb feels uncomfortable. Caleb said he shouldn't be stalking my page, but you're saying you took contact him. So why is he looking at my
I don't think he's looking at your page.
Oh, well, wait, I'm trying to sit down and so let's see what they say about it.
Okay, and I haven't called the police on you.
I ain't contacting.
I have picked up proof to fucking tell you he's looking at my profile, my phone number.
Anyone can look at a profile, Kaylin.
He's looking at my picture, my phone. What's the cell phone is?
Because you stuff up her stuff on there, that's why it's weird.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but I know when you have we don't want nothing to do with you, Kaylin.
No, you don't. Daniel, you're looking at profiles.
When did that happen?
Pretty sure if I do this profile.
That was old, right?
Why are you looking at that?
Exactly. I guess we're doing the flip side. I just said Daniel said they were viewing my TikTok. He would be going off right now.
I might have viewed it because I've used Daniel's phone. That's me viewing your stuff. I viewed your TikTok from Daniel's account.
Okay, I'll
Yeah, I viewed your TikTok from Daniel's account.
I'll talk to you next.
Yeah, that's what happened. Because my phone is under Daniel's account.
You contradicted yourself.
Yeah, I just explained it. I didn't contradict myself. I just thought about it. I viewed your TikTok from Daniel's phone. Remember, I have Daniel's old phone number.
Why are you looking at my phone? Why are you looking at
I can't hear her.
My TikTok profile is none of your business. You are not my mother.
I know I'm not your mother, honey, and I don't want to be your mother. I don't have to be your mother to view your TikTok. The public can view your TikTok. I don't want to be your mother. Why do you point out that I'm not your mother? That's not what I want to be. You are not my son's wife as well. Yeah, I viewed the TikTok from. Yeah, I don't want to be your mother. You're not a daughter that I want to have, Kaylin.
And fresh and pressure.
Yeah, I don't want to be her mother. Why is she saying that?
Yeah, okay, so next month I'm gonna tap in with you. You're going crazy over these messages. Bye-bye.
Okay, sorry about that, y'all. So hopefully that's the situation I deal with Elijah and Kaylin. And she's saying I'm not a mother. I don't want to be her mother. It's just crazy. She's not even married to my son. So it's just crazy. So please like, share, and subscribe, y'all. And please like, share, and subscribe. And that's just part of what I deal with. I was under Daniel's account. Because I use a prior phone number that Daniel and I kind of share. So that's what happened. I checked their TikTok because Elijah had messaged me to TikTok. So yeah, so please like, share, and subscribe, y'all. And tune in for more right here with the Advanced Insight channel. I appreciate you both. Yes, indeed. So that just kind of gives you an idea of the family drama that's going on, okay? Again, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye. And this is why no contact is so important, and to just stay away from all the drama. Just stay away. And you will be much better off. See that? I was just talking about why not to be keeping people's children. And you see how that phone conversation went? If you stay away, you won't deal with this situation. Just stay away. It's not worth it. Imagine how that would explode in person. Again, please like, share, and subscribe, y'all. Thank you. Bye.